everybody. Today we're going to be talking to Dietmar Rietsch from Pimcore. We're going to be covering an interesting topic, which is AI. Obviously, it's a very popular topic, trending for the last couple of years, but in particular with regards to PIM services, right? And product information management, which you guys and Pimcore are an expert at.
Yeah, so thanks for letting me join this cast today. And indeed, the topic of AI and automation is a really important topic also in regards to product information management, product experience management, because the main target is always, if you work with data and you work and you can work in a more data-driven way, then of course there are a lot of tools and services such as AI that make these whole processes more automated, more simple and more efficient. And therefore we think also as Pimcore that really AI and machine learning is a disruptor in the field of product information management as well as the whole data management topic. So it's really changing the game.
Right. And one of the things that I think we can both agree on is that companies today are facing huge challenges when it comes to managing and distributing accurate, enriched product data across multiple channels. It's due to changes in consumer behavior. It's becoming even more important, right? And now we go into things like social shopping and social selling. So PIM systems also help in that field. How does PIM and Pimcore help breach these sorts of challenges with AI in mind?
So what we think is that PIM and PXM is at the core of any commerce initiative, because it's about products. You are selling a product and you are selling a product to a consumer. Therefore, you have to maintain the product data. And today, it's all about multi-channel publishing and single source publishing, because there are so many different channels out there. Social channels, then web to print for B2B, or websites, and whatsoever, marketplaces. So you have to maintain a huge amount of different channels. And with the advent of AI, there's now the possibility also to personalize this product information so that it's really targeted on the individual customer in a one-to-one way. And this wasn't possible before. So let me say, for example, if you have a product basically, then probably the product description could be differently for a guy that is like 16 years old and a family father who is 60 years old. So now that's the big thing.
I mean, I agree with you on this, but it also brings in what you mentioned earlier about the data, the super large amounts of data being processed right now. You've got people searching and shopping on multiple platforms. So tailoring, if I'm searching on one platform and another platform, the products. So when I go into a different platform, whether it's social media or whatever, like that sort of data should all be kind of mashed up somewhere, right?
Exactly. And I would say this is the future of our product category, PIM. So we see really a huge transition from PIM, which is like product information management, to PXM, which is product experience management. So it's far more than just managing product itself, like the attributes, translations, and all of that stuff, but really taking care of the whole experience on any channel. And that's just more than data management. It's managing experiences, managing channels, and also on the other hand, getting then the data from the consumer back into the system to even be able to optimize the product data.
Yeah, and this is where you need companies like Cloudflight and Pimcore in unison to actually build these services for you as a client, right? And how do they work together? What's your experience?
E-commerce, it's getting tougher if you want to make it really perfect or as perfect as possible, because you have the amount of channels, you have the customer experience and the customer needs in mind. Everything is going to be personalized. You have the topic of marketing, automation, and all things surrounding the world of the customer and also the world of the products. And therefore, it's all about automation. It's all about integration, your whole stack with your IT systems, your ERP and so on, logistic systems, to have a smooth experience for the end customer. And that is not easy. And therefore, of course, we need guys like Cloudflight that say, hey, that understand technology, that understand processes, and also understand the customer experience surrounding this whole topic.
Which is basically the 360 overview, how to implement everything into one cohesive system, right? And our expertise and your expertise in developing the PIM and how we work with you on this to deliver a finished and final product. Obviously, even with the finished and final product, there will be updates, and one of those updates is around AI and how it's driving the process of PIM, right?
Exactly.
I mean, is there anything else that you would say is absolutely imperative in terms of AI and PIM going forward, as in what the trends you might see here would be?
I would say that, even more channels will evolve. Topics such as, augmented reality and meta and all of that things will also evolve. So you have to get the data right. Because it's always, shit in, shit out, basically. So what we see at companies, that they still have those information silos, these data silos, and this has to converge. We have to bring together the data and have a unique storage where everything comes together and gets more, intelligent. Because, and that's one, really very important thing, an AI or a machine learning, it's not magic at all in that certain way, but it relies on data which is correct and which is good. Because if you train an AI or use machine learning software with your data, and this data is corrupt and just sucks, then the result will suck. So data is always the beginning, and finally it's always the end, because this is the cycle of optimization and the 360-degree approach. Yes.
Yeah, and also in this whole concept, the main goal is to build consumer and customer loyalty, right? And what better way to do it than having the right information for the right clients at the right time, that's just put in their face so they can see it at any given moment.
Yes, and I would like to mention another thing is, I think in that time, in the current time, it's also still very important that you really start with the customer experience and the customer expectations. Because, there are so many tools out there, especially in terms of AI, where you can do different things, but you have to adjust everything on the customer experience. So what are actually the needs? How can you, increase conversion rates? How do you, satisfy the expectations of the customer? And then, based on that strategy, you then can select tools. But if you do it the other way around, then it's like, a fool with a tool is still a fool. So it always starts with the experience and the customer in mind.
Yeah, so basically, both you as Pimcore, us as Cloudflight, we need to understand what the end goal is of our clients and what their clients need in return, right? Seems like a no-brainer, but as we know from experience, it doesn't always work like that, right?
Exactly.
You have somebody coming to you saying, okay, I heard about this great tool, I want to do this and this with it. And then during discovery, you understand, okay, wait, actually, what you're trying to achieve would be better suited with a different tool. I mean, we've covered a lot here in this really short amount of time. Any final closing thoughts on your end? Like, what would be your 3 top messages here?
So for the customers, basically, or the companies, I would say it's understand really your customer. And based on that understanding, get the data and the experience right, and gain the necessary data to even make it more better for really improving the customer experience overall. If you do, and that doesn't matter if you're doing B2B or B2C or C2C and whatsoever, finally it's about making bucks, and therefore it's, satisfying the customer.
Yeah, and having that single point of data. And this is where between the two of us, we have flexibility on our side. We can adapt according to the client's needs and their client's needs, right?
Exactly.
Thank you so much for your time today. It was amazing. I mean, we talked this through quite quickly, but I think there's some really key insights here. And what's important to note is that ultimately, data drives everything.
The new oil.
Everybody, we say a big thanks to Dietz, and thanks for tuning in to us today, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dietz.